and you can go ahead and lie a little bit if you want to, because we're not going to hold you to court or anything like that.
Well, I don't lie. I don't have to.
Okay, this is an interview with Salty. And Salty, what year were you born?
July 19th, 1940.
July what?
19th, 1940.
And where were you born?
I was born on right off the point of Dreamus Island here.
On Guimas or on Cyprus?
On the water.
On the water?
On the water. On the deck of a tug.
Okay. And your family was living where at the time?
My mom and my dad were living on Cyprus Island with my grandpa and her grandpa and grandma.
Okay. And this is a Cyprus Island. Can you show me where that property was?
Right.
Let's put a pencil mark on it here.
Right here.
Right up in here, huh?
Ah. Oh, wait, wrong one spot. Excuse me, I'm sorry. Oh, wait, just to get it here. I'm sorry, right here.
Yeah, here's Guima.
Okay. So right above Secret Harbor.
Yeah, we were just off of Secret Harbor here on Deepwater Bay.
Deepwater Bay.
Yeah.
Okay. And did your dad and mom own that property then?
No, my grandpa and grandma owned it.
And what were their names?
Beg your pardon?
What were their names?
Harrington.
Harrington. Now your mother was related to Bubble, right?
Right. Bubba was a sister to my mom.
Okay, and what was your mom's name?
Doris.
Doris. And was she older or younger than...
Bubba was... My mom was older than Bubba.
And did they have any other brothers or sisters?
Yeah, my mom had was 5 sisters altogether.
5 sisters altogether.
Yeah.
Do you remember the rest of their names?
No, not all. I know a few of them, but I don't remember all of them. One was Pearl. Another one's name that I remember is Mildred. The other ones I never was in contact very much with at all. I
Okay.
don't know. I don't know their names. I can't think of them. Let's see. Doris, Mildred, Pearl. I can't think of the other 2. I don't know. I'm sorry.
That's okay.
Well, Bubble's name was Henrietta, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay,
And
and
she married into the Loman family.
Henrietta did? Bubble did?
Yeah. And her mom, well, it would be her adopted mom would lived in Anacortes.
Oh, okay, so Henrietta wasn't really a Harrington then? She was somebody...
Somebody else, a shirt tail relation.
Okay.
Yeah. What was her last? I always known her as Bubba. I
Yeah.
always called her Bubba. I never,
Bubba.
I don't know Bubba.
Okay.
I don't know her last name. I can't
All
think
right.
of it. If I will, I'll let you know.
I can remember. I've
can't
got it
think of
written down.
But anyway, yeah.
Now, the Harringtons, do you know when they came to Cyprus?
Years ago.
Okay.
I don't know exactly when.
And what did they do over there?
My grandfather was a moonshiner.
Now, you mentioned one time there was a still over there, and that must have been his, huh?
I beg your pardon. Yeah, that's my grandpa. Yeah, I have the steel right now.
Oh, do you? Is,
Oh, yeah.
is it here, or is...
No, it was over on Cyprus.
Oh, would you be willing to take me over sometime and show me if I got a boat?
I got a boat.
You do?
Yeah.
Will it run that far?
Sure.
Oh, okay.
I go over there all the time.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, we'll go over on a nice day so We can get some pictures and
Yeah.
stuff if you're willing to do
You can
that.
take pictures of the property if you want. Okay.
Okay. Is there a cabin on it
There's a
yet?
log house.
There's a log house. Do you?
Another log house, and a grandma's house.
Oh. Okay.
He built them.
Okay.
Yeah.
Now, do you have brothers and sisters then?
No,
So you're an only child.
I'm the only child.
Okay. Alrighty. And how long did you live over on Cypress then?
And I've lived there for over 40 years.
So when did you come to Guimas then?
When I met Joan Gilbertson. Joan and I have been together, what, 15, 16 years, something like that. But I've been associated with Guimas for my whole life.
Okay. Salty, what's your real name?
My real name,
Yeah, do you have a real name?
my God-given name is James W. Allen
James W. What's the W out for?
Webb.
Webb. That must be a family name then.
That
huh?
was my dad's name. Yeah. He was Irish.
Okay.
My mom was Aleut Indian.
Oh, really?
Yeah, and
Okay.
I'm half Aleut.
Aleut?
Aleut Indian from Sitka, Alaska.
Okay.
Yeah.
So, and that's what your mom was, half Aleut?
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, I'm not quite half. I'm just about half. So
Yeah.
I mean, you know,
Yeah, and that's what,
my dad was Irish.
yeah. So
my
now,
my grandma, pure-blooded Aleut Indian, and my grandfather was pure-blooded. Her father was pure-blooded Aleut Indian,
okay.
and he was a shaman. And my grandma was a midwife.
Do you remember their names then?
My name?
Their names. The Indian names.
Robert was his name. And her name was Hazel. That's their Christian name.
Okay. And were they the Harringtons then, or were
They
they?
were the Harringtons.
They were the Harringtons. Okay.
And they were the ones that raised me.
So, how did you come to be raised by them rather than your mother?
But my mom was a doctor. She was a bone specialist, orthopedic for children.
And what was her name?
Doris.
Doris.
And she lived in Portland, Oregon.
Okay.
And my dad was a CPA. And he lived in Gresham, Oregon. So. And they didn't want anything to do with the islands. They didn't feel a hoot about the islands.
Mm-hmm.
I'm the one that gave a hoot about the islands.
So when you were born on the Tug, were you going to the mainland, or were you coming back to the
I was going
island?
to Anacortes.
You were going to Anacortes.
Yeah, it was time for Mom to have me, and I think it was blowing like 40 miles an hour, maybe 30, 35 miles an hour. And it was rougher than hell, and my grandpa told Grandma to get ready to take Mom in to the hospital, and Grandma didn't want anything to do with it. She didn't want to go across.
Because it was so rough?
So we took the Tug, Grandpa's Tug. He had the old Noble, and
When you say the Mobile, was that its name?
the Noble
Noble. Okay.
was the Tug's name. And then we started to cross, and it was so rough that Noble was, I didn't know if we would make it. It was so rough, you know. And he called the Coast Guard, and the Coast Guard came out, and they couldn't get alongside of us at all. It was too rough. They busted the Tug up. And came up on a wave, and the wave went out from under the tug, and the tug come crashing down on the water, and out I popped right on the deck. So then we got into Anacortes, and they got us up to the hospital and stuff, and I was perfectly fine. Mom was perfectly fine. They gave my grandpa a shot to calm him down. He was all nervous wreck. So.
Okay.
But,
and your grandpa run that tug to make money then?
Yeah,
Yeah.
he was a tug man. Yeah, towed logs and stuff. When we were logging cypress, why he was towing the logs over for Pappy Foss.
Okay. And that's what you did when you were young? You were
Yeah,
a logger?
I was a young kid, yeah. I
Yeah.
logged for Pappy. Yeah. Made money.
Okay.
But yeah. And I'm self-taught. Never went to school. Self-taught at home.
You went to none of the schools?
No school. I was self-taught.
Then did they have a school at Cypress at the time? And
No. Cypress is primitive. There's no stores, there's no schools, there's no nothing there. There's just, you have to have your own boat to get back and forth. There's just no way.
Okay.
I never was. The boys' school was there.
Yes,
But
Secret
that
Harbor.
was- Tom Gallagher and Lillian Johnson. Yeah, that was there. But no, there's never been anything there.
So did you have neighbors or anything around where you lived or when you grew up? Did you have any friends?
There was a couple families that lived on at Strawberry Bay, and then there was at Eagle Bluffs there was a old goat farmer. He lived there.
What was his name? Do you remember?
I can't think of his name.
Eagle Bluff is up here, isn't it?
Yeah.
And then Strawberry Bay. And then Strawberry Bay is down here.
I'll put this one together right here. Oh, Strawberry Bay is right here.
Yeah.
Right here.
And you lived right over here, right?
They're over here, yeah.
On this point?
No, right here, right in here.
Right in that little cove.
Yeah, the dock comes right off the point right here. The dock is still there.
Okay.
Grandpa built it, and Pappy Foss and them maintained the whole thing all the time and constantly kept it working.
Okay.
And then there's a road that we put in. It comes off of here and comes up here and around this here and around here and up the hill, up to the top of the bluffs there.
Okay.
Right? And then the log house sits right here.
Well, how many acres did they have over there? A pretty good chunk of land.
42.
And is all
It was
still
a
together
homestead.
now?
It was a homestead. No, it's not all together now. No. Parks have got their hands in on it.
Mm-hmm.
You can't fight the parks.
Yeah.
But, yeah.
So, did you live there all the time then?
Yeah, I lived there
until you met
Joan,
Joan?
yeah.
So how did you guys meet?
That's quite a story.
Or is that something you don't want to talk about?
No, that's fine. No, I was over doing carpentry work, and we were remodeling a house and over by Hideaway. And that one evening, when it was cold, and we missed the ferry, and we were down at Anderson's, and I had a few shots of whiskey and stuff and everything else, you know, and met Joan, and Joan and I got to they had band playing, and we got to dancing and stuff, and I knocked her on the floor by accident. And so then the next morning, I woke up and got up and stuff and everything, and I got this phone call. I answered the phone, and Joan was on the phone. She said, "You remember me?" And I told her, "Not really." And she said, "Well, I'm the one you knocked on the floor." And I thought, "Oh shit, I gotta get me a lawyer. I must have really hurt her or something," you know what I mean? And that's how we got together.
I see.
Been together ever since.
So then did you do carpentry over here on Guaymas then?
Oh yeah, yeah. Yeah, I did carpentry all over. I'm a builder.
Yeah.
So Yeah. Yeah. And I used to go into town. I'd take a rowboat. When I wanted to go to town, I'd take a rowboat and row across over to Anacortes. And at that time, it was called the you know, I think I'm getting Alzheimer's. You know that? Anyway, Crowder Boat Work.
Oh, I've heard of that.
And I used to go in there and stay, like it was too rough to go back over in the evening or something, or in the day, I'd stay over there overnight at his place, at the docks. And then I'd go back the next morning.
So how long would it take you to row from Cypress to Anacortes?
Oh, if the tide, always try to go with the tide. But if the tide, a good hour and a half, maybe an hour and 45 minutes. Sometimes if the tide was cooperating and the wind was blowing, it would take me a couple hours.
Yeah.
Maybe 2.5 hours to row over.
Yeah.
But you want a good boat to row too. Had to have a good rowing boat, which I did.
Did you build that?
Yeah, I built that myself.
Do you still have it?
No, I don't have the boat. No, it's all it's gone. It fell apart, deteriorated, and fell apart. No, I don't have the boat no more.
Just from lack of use, huh?
Huh?
Just from lack of use?
Yeah, sitting around, sitting in the and so forth, and under the trees and stuff and everything else.
Yeah.
You know, weather-wise. It's rot.
Did you come over and visit Bubbles a lot?
Oh yeah, I'd see Bubba quite a bit, and Bubba would come over there and see us. She'd come over and get her medicine, what she called her medicine, from Grandpa.
Oh.
But yeah, she was quite an exotic dancer. She, in fact, I got pictures I took of her just before she passed away. And I've got them hanging on the wall.
Okay.
But yeah, she used to come over and Grandpa would say, well, it's about time for Bubba to show up. And sure enough, here he comes. She come in that stupid canoe and paddle around the point. You know.
Do you have any family pictures from when you were young or anything?
No, I don't have many family pictures at all.
So you don't have pictures of your grandfather or places,
no,
pictures of the place or anything like that, huh?
No, I've got pictures of the property, but not way back then.
I see.
Yeah.
Everything is recent pictures.
Yeah, they're not old pictures, no.
Yeah. Did you ever do any fishing, commercial fishing or anything like that?
Yeah, gill netting and yeah, I did a lot of that stuff.
Okay.
Cold, miserable, wet nights, wind blow.
Were you working for yourself or for somebody else?
I worked for myself.
Yeah.
And then I fished with Russell Harmstead, gill netting too.
Is he from Anacortes? I don't know that name.
Of course, he's up by Whistle Lake.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Did you have anything to do with the canneries?
I beg your pardon?
Did you have anything to do with the canneries?
Oh yeah, yeah.
You worked at
Sebastian
the
and
canneries?
Stuart would pick up fish in there and sell them. Yeah.
Did you know Mabel Hansen and her husband?
Yeah.
They-
Yeah.
They lived right on the dock.
Yeah. Right down
They're
there.
my godparents.
Oh, they're your godparents.
Yes.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah.
Oh, darn. Huh. Yeah. I don't know. Is that a recorder or a telephone?
It's a recorder.
Oh. Fish all night. You catch a good bunch of fish and take them in and sell them. Yeah, and then
Was there ever a time that you lived away from the islands here? Did you go?
oh yeah, I went down and after I grew up, I lived in Stanwood for a while. I went down there and worked on a dairy farm.
Oh.
Made some money.
What do you remember the family's name that you worked for?
Yeah, just a moment. Stangland. Louis
Stang.
Sangland was his name.
Yeah.
I worked for. He had a big dairy farm down there. And I worked for him for a couple of years. It was right after I got married. I married a girl from Minnesota, and then
Did you knock her down too?
no,
Did you have any children?
no, no, no. We got divorced. It didn't work out.
Yeah.
But and then after I got divorced from her, I married another girl, her sister. Her sister's name was Carolyn, which was a big mistake. But I lost her. She passed away. I lost her, and then I never got married after that. I figured it wasn't meant to be. I mean, you know.
Yeah.
And then of course I met Joan, but no.
Now I noticed you got quite a tattoo there. Did you do that yourself, or where did you get that?
My grandpa did that. That's Aleut.
And put your arm out here so Carol can get a picture of that.
That's Aleut.
Wow.
How old were you when you had that done?
I was just a young kid. I was young.
Still a teenager?
Huh? Yeah.
Still a teenager?
No, before I was a teenager, it was done.
Do you know what it means?
Huh?
Do you know what it means? Or-
Yeah, I know exactly what it means. It's a map of Baranof Island,
Oh.
where Sitka's at.
Oh.
Sitka's right here.
Okay.
That's what it is. It's a map
Yeah.
of Baranof Island. And these are mountains. Like Mount Baker and so forth would be like, you know what I mean?
Yeah, we've been to Sitka and we know those
Yeah,
mountains
yeah,
around there.
and then,
Edgecombe and
yeah. And right here's where the hole in the wall is on Baranof Island, where the fishermen used to go in there and get out of storms with.
oh,
There's a big inlet that come in like that and around like that, and very, very deep. Never, even when the tide was out, it was very deep. But that's where they go to get a. It's a natural made hole in the wall. The
through the rocks.
land comes out like that. It came out like that. And you just had a shot to come in, and that's all. You didn't miss it. If you missed it, you were in the rocks. But you come in here, and then there's a big. And then down here, up here is a lake right here, and then that lake, the water was tributary from that lake ran down out here into the hole in the wall, and the salmon would come in there. And that whole thing would just be rippling with salmon trying to go up that creek, you know, to spawn.
Okay.
Yeah.
So have you been up there since? Have you ever been into Sitka and stuff then?
Oh yeah.
A lot of
yeah.
time.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
Did you have relatives left up there that you went
yeah,
to see?
I got
And
relatives up there. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, they live on the reservation.
okay.
Yeah. But yeah, I have thought several times about going up there. In fact, I almost did go back up to Sitka and live up there, but on the reservation. But I don't want to. Anyway, Doug Jones. I don't know if you know Doug Jones or not. Doug and I were up there. We sailed the Windbird up there.
And whose boat was that?
Doug Jones's boat, Windbird. We went up there and met some of my relatives up there and so forth.
And who was Doug?
He's a... Mike Gross knows Doug real well. He's a carpenter. I've known Doug for 10, 11 years, something like that. Yeah.
So when you sailed the Windbird up there, that wasn't that long ago then.
Yeah, it's been 7 years ago, 6 years ago, 7 years ago. 7 years ago? No, it's been longer than that. 11, 12 years ago, 11 years ago. somewhere right in there.
Mm-hmm.
It's been a while. But went up there and we sailed up there. Had fun.
Yeah.
Bar hopped and everything. Livened the place up a little bit.
Yeah.
Had fun.
And so then did you sail back down? Or
Yeah,
did-
we sailed back down. We made a round trip. We took the inside passage.
Yes, and was that about a month, or how long were you
we
gone?
Were, we were up there for a month. About a month. About 2 weeks up and 2 weeks back.
When you were growing up and stuff, there wasn't many kids over here. Did you go down over to the Guimas? Did you know kids from there or kids from town, or were you pretty much on your own all the time?
Pretty much on my own. I knew kids from town. Those kids are gone. They're not even in. They don't even live in there, of course. They're gone. I don't know where they're at.
Can you remember their names or their last name, or?
I don't know their
Sam.
last names. Bradley Ferguson was one. I think he's in Canada. Guy Madison was another one. I think his last name was Billy Miller. I think Miller or Mitchell. One Mitchell. Billy Mitchell was another one.
And do you remember how you got to meet them? Was it because of going to the canneries and stuff, or were you just kicking around town, or?
Grandpa knew. I met him through Grandpa, my grandpa. He
Yeah.
knew from his bartering and stuff, you know. Because that's what he made home brew for. He bartered. And we trade, you know, for stuff. You know.
Now, did your grandpa die over at Cyprus then, or?
Yeah,
And is he buried over there, or
yeah, I buried him. Yeah. And
on the property?
Yeah, my grandma died right after he died.
Okay. What year was that? Do you remember?
Oh, God.
20 years ago?
It's
30?
been a long time ago. Yeah, 30, 40 years ago.
Were you living over there? Or
Huh?
were you living there when they died?
Yeah.
Okay.
40 years, some years ago.
Mm-hmm.
He was 107 when he died. And my grandma was 105 when she died.
Wow.
She mourned herself to death.
Over Grandpa.
Huh?
Over Grandpa?
Yeah. They always were together. They always did everything together. Never went anywhere without each other or anything. And you know. But yeah. And they if you would have met them, you'd have thought they were going to kill each other. That's just the way they were. They were always pulling something, you know, on each other and stuff. And Grandpa was always making Grandma mad, and Grandma would get mad at him, and he'd get mad at her. But he told me, he said, you know, we never go to bed mad. Because you never know, the next morning they may not be to say, I'm sorry. So, but they never went to bed mad. They always were, you know.
That's a good lesson, huh?
Yeah, it was an awesome lesson. And I've always practiced it. And then my grandma used to tell me when I was a kid, I used to have roaming hands and rushing hands and roaming fingers. You know, I always wanted to touch this and touch that. You know, pick this up and look at it. You know, and Grandma would tell me. She'd say, if it isn't yours, you don't touch it. If it's yours, you can touch it and handle it all you want. And then she'd tell me, when we go into town and go shopping or something like that, and looking in the windows and stuff at the stores and stuff. And she'd tell me, Grandpa would tell me, and she would tell me the same thing, that look at it. If you want it, turn around and walk away. You come back later. If it's gone, it wasn't yours. And I've always practiced that too.
Yeah.
And then I asked my grandpa one time why he always told me that. He said, because he said 9 times out of 10, if you want it and you were to buy it or you did or something, you'd never use it, you never needed it, and you don't have any use for it.
Mm-hmm.
You know, so that was a good philosophy. Saved me a lot of money. I'll tell you that. A lot of suckers weren't bought.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So when you came off the island then, off of Cyprus, when you were a young guy then, is that when you started building?
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
did a little fishing?
Well, I helped. I have people that I call aunt and uncle, but then they're no relation whatsoever. And his name is Russell Hermstead, and her name is Dolores Hermstead. And they worked for Secret Harbor Farms for Tom and Lillian at the boys' school. And got to know them quite well, and used to go down and visit with them all the time and be there at their place all the time over at Secret Harbor Farms. And I call them aunt and uncle because they I just look at them as like an aunt and uncle.
At that time, how many kids were at that farm?
Oh God, there was 35 kids. They were all boys, of course.
Mm-hmm.
But there was that many. I think where there was more, I think a couple of times, or like 40. But it was completely different then.
And who was the people that started it?
Tom Gallagher and Lillian Johnson. And they had the risers. I believe this is correct. They owned, I think they own it. But they had the Riser Child Center in Seattle.
Well, they were the ones that started that. Then.
Yeah, they're the ones that him and Lillian got together and started it together and ran the whole thing
Mm-hmm.
until they died. And they had the old boat called the Tyee.
I remember that.
You remember the Tyee?
Mm-hmm.
The old gill netter. And you can see that boat go across there every weekend to town, back and forth. In fact, I ran into it a couple times with the skiff. But it used to come in at Curtis Wharf.
Mm-hmm.
What was called Curtis Wharf then. Where they had the big building and they kept all the beer and booze and stuff in that.
Yeah.
Yeah. And when I was a kid, we used to roll in there with the guys and go under the dock when the tide was low. We had a trap door set cut in the dock there. And we'd open that trap door and go up in there and borrow the beer and hooch.
Yeah.
And then we'd shut the door, of course, And it was a long time before they ever caught on to it. Then one time we went over there and went under the dock, and it was a little sloppy, a little rough,
Mm-hmm.
wobbly, and opened that door up and climbed up in there, and all of a sudden the lights all come flashing on. Boy, man, you talk about some scared kids. But got in trouble over that. And then the train trestle goes over to the refinery.
Mm-hmm.
I put a 1957 Chevrolet right out in the middle of that trestle. I couldn't get it off the trestle. Couldn't even drive it off the trestle. I tore the oil pan right out of it. And they had to bring a locomotive and a flat car with a crane on it and come out there and pick that thing up off the deck. That's all.
Did they know who did that? Did you get in trouble for that?
No, I didn't get in trouble. But the guy that had owned the car got in trouble. But I'm the one that drove it out there. But yeah, they had to pay. We had to pay for it. They had to pay for it and stuff. And,
Yeah.
you know, for doing it. You know.
Well, now, did the kids from the Secret Harbor Farms, did they roam around Cyprus? Did you run into them on the island, or
Oh, yeah.
or did they?
I used to go over there and, like I said, rest in the bars, and used to go to the farm and visit. And
But I mean, were the kids pretty much confined to the farm, or did they roam around the island?
no, we could go in. They could go anywhere they wanted to. I mean, what could they hurt? I mean,
Yeah.
there's nothing to steal, you know, and they're not going to get into. They didn't have pot and dope and stuff and like that and so forth at that time. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And no, there was nothing for them. They could go anywhere they wanted to, really. And they'd go on hikes and picnics and stuff like that. And go up to the big lakes and so forth and fish and stuff like that. And then, of course, they had school over there where they went to school, which I thought was stupid. But anyway, they went to school and where they taught, you know. And then, of course, they had town trips where so many could go to town and so forth, you know. And then everyone had a chore. That was what it kind of fascinated me, because everybody had a chore. And they had the farm over there. And everyone did their chores, and they get like 50 cents. It depends on what the job. They didn't have the stuff like they do today. You know what I mean?
Right. Now, when you were growing up on the island, did you have any neighbors that you went to see, or neighbors?
Oh yeah, the old goat farmer.
He was about the only
He had a
one.
daughter. I never knew his wife. I never met his wife. I didn't even know her. He had a daughter, and then she got. I think she went to Bellingham to go to school or something. Anyway, she disappeared from the island, and that was the end of that. And then when he died, we didn't know what to do. Didn't know what to do with all these goats, and we weren't going to feed the goats because that cost money, you know.
Mm-hmm.
And I got a hold of his daughter and stuff, and she came over and she said, "Well, that's easy to take care of. You just turned them loose." Now today there's wild goats on the island running around, interbred and stuff like that, you know. But yeah, and then old man Ferguson had Strawberry Bay. He owned Strawberry Bay. He was a fisherman. He gill netted and bottom dragged for fish and so forth like that. And used to go over there and visit with him. He had Strawberry Bay until he died.
So there being no roads around there, you must have had trails that you could get around, or did you always go by boat?
No, we had trails. We had our own trails that we made and so forth. Yeah.
Now, was there any livestock over there? Did you guys have cows and goats and horses or anything like that?
No, the Ferguson did. Old man Ferguson. He had some cows, and he had horses. And we used to go over there and ride the horses and stuff, catch them and ride them.
Yeah.
And then his Secret Harbor Farm had cattle. Had some cattle over there
Okay.
that they raised for their own purpose. And had these milk cows. I think I had 3 or 4 milk cows. And then I don't know. I don't remember. Maybe they may have had some pigs. I'm not sure. I think they did, and they had chickens, of course. But
Did you guys have chickens?
no, we didn't. No.
You never did, huh?
No.
Did you raise a big garden over there?
Yeah, and then I grabbed artesian. That's how we got our water.
You have an artesian well?
Yeah. Cistern. Yeah. And then see, same thing with Secret Harbor Farms had a cistern, artesian. That was their drinking water and stuff over there.
Okay.
And it come right out of the mountainside, right out of the rocks. It would bubble up out of the ground, you know. And there's a lake. Oh, not a lake, but a river. It runs from Mount Baker. It runs clear down and comes runs straight through Remus Island and over to Cypress.
Underground?
Underground. It's a lake. I mean, river. Yeah. In fact, this well here that we have right here is 750 feet deep. And it's tapped right into the river. Never goes dry. Most awesome water you ever drank.
Huh.
And in fact, every year we have it tested, you know, the wells, the water and stuff, and they said it's the best water they've ever found on Remus Island. So we feel lucky about that.
Well, my understanding is that there was lots of springs on Cypress Island.
There's a heck of a lot of them.
A lot more water than what is on Guimas.
Just a minute. There's the big lake, which is at the top of the top of the Cypress, which is the crater.
Okay, would that be one of these two?
Let me get my glasses on. You gotta turn that map around a little bit different so I can see it better. Right here. The big lake.
Now was that shows? It looks like it shows it as swampy here. Were those kind of swampy or?
Yeah, they had a lot of lily pads and reed grass grow up, you know. But Cypress Lake is well, I'm lost here about what's Stella M. Payne. I don't understand.
That's
that.
the person that owned that property.
Oh, well,
This map is from 1925.